Hello, my dears. How are you feeling today? Have you ever noticed that your own home, your fortress, the place where you've spent so many years, suddenly starts almost tripping you up? Those very rugs that used to please the eye now seem like treacherous islands, ready to send you flying? And that favorite armchair, where it was so cozy to read, has suddenly turned into a soft trap that's becoming harder and harder to get out of? It's not just your imagination. After 70, our bodies change. Our balance isn't what it used to be, muscles aren't as strong, reactions slow down. And our home, if not adapted to these changes, can become a source of danger. Today, I want to talk about 5 things that might still be in your home, but are actually silent saboteurs of your comfort and safety. They are like weeds in the well-tended garden of your well-being, which need to be pulled out by the roots. These could be treacherous, slippery rugs, lying like minefields in your path. Or old, worn-out shoes that, instead of providing support, turn your feet into exhausted travelers on a rocky road. And an overflowing medicine cabinet, where old pills sit next to new ones. That's a real ticking time bomb. Or those very low, soft armchairs that pull you in like quicksand. And even familiar but too heavy kitchenware that turns cooking from a pleasure into a test of strength. I promise you, getting rid of these things will make you feel a surge of energy, regain confidence in every step within your own home, improve your well-being, and even your mood. And most importantly, these are simple steps, accessible to every one of us. Let's work together to make your home a truly safe and cozy nest. Stay with me until the end. This is important for your health and peace of mind. Stay with me until the end, because some of these lessons might surprise you. 1. Treacherous rugs, a hidden threat underfoot. So, the first thing I want to draw your attention to is small, loose rugs. Yes, those cute little mats in the hallway, bathroom, or by the bed. What's wrong with them, you ask? They make it cozy. But let's be honest. How many times have you or someone you know tripped over such a rug? After 70, our sense of balance and reaction speed are not what they were in our youth. These rugs, especially those without a rubberized backing, turn into real slipping hazards underfoot. One awkward step, and you can suffer a serious injury that can sideline you for a long time. What should you do? Throw them out without regret. Or, if it's very dear to you, securely fasten it with double-sided tape or special anti-slip pads. Even better, replace them with rugs with non-slip backing, or leave the floor clear in high-traffic areas altogether. I remember the story of Eleanor. She was 78 years old. She had a beautiful Persian rug in her hallway, inherited from her mother. It was her pride. But so slippery. Her daughter, Mary, asked her to remove it every time she visited. "Mom, it's dangerous," she'd say. But Eleanor would brush it off. "It's been here my whole life, and nothing's happened. It's a memory." She held on to that item tightly. It was part of her familiar world, her memories. But secretly, she herself began to fear it. She tried to walk around it, shuffled her feet so as not to catch on it. Internally, she felt discomfort, anxiety, but admitting it, even to herself, was difficult. It would mean admitting her vulnerability. One day, she almost fell, managing to grab onto the doorframe. Her heart pounded, her hands trembled. At that moment, she understood. Memories are wonderful, but a broken hip is the end of her independence. The rug was like a beautiful but poisonous flower in her home. After that incident, she reluctantly agreed to remove it. And you know what? She felt immense relief. The hallway seemed more spacious. Walking became calmer. She realized that safety and confidence in every step are more important than any object. It was as if she had removed invisible shackles from her feet. Physiologically, the risk of falling was gone. Psychologically, the constant subconscious anxiety disappeared. Now she walks freely around her house, not fearing every step. So, my dears, take a close look at your floors. Are there any such ticking time bombs there? Your safety and freedom of movement are priceless. Take the first step towards a safe home. Remove or secure slippery rugs. If you are still watching this video and finding the information useful, write the number 3 in the comments so I know you are here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, now is the time to fix that. Subscribe and click the bell icon so you don't miss any new videos. Alright, let's move on. 2. Old shoes. Goodbye, comfortable enemies of your feet. The second item on our list is old, worn-out indoor and outdoor shoes. I know, many of us have favorite slippers or shoes that are perfectly broken in and seem like the pinnacle of comfort. We wear them for years, not noticing how the heel has worn down, the sole has collapsed, and all foot support is gone. But it's precisely these comfortable shoes that can cause pain in your feet, knees, and even back. As we age, the arch of the foot changes. We need good cushioning and support to reduce the load on our joints. Old, shapeless shoes don't provide this. Moreover, they increase the risk of falls as your foot can twist in them and the sole can slip. I want to tell you about John. He was 72. He loved his old house moccasins. The soles were worn almost through, but he insisted, "Nothing is more comfortable. My feet relax in them." Meanwhile, he constantly complained about foot pain in the evening and aching knees. His wife, Susan, urged him to buy new orthopedic slippers, but he refused. "I don't want to walk around in clogs." He associated special footwear with old age, with infirmity, and it bothered him inwardly. It seemed to him that admitting the need for such shoes meant surrendering to age. Habit and unwillingness to acknowledge changes in his body were stronger than common sense. But one day, while walking in his old outdoor shoes, also quite well worn, he badly twisted his ankle. There was no fracture, but the sprained ligaments forced him to spend several weeks at home. This incident made him think. Susan gently but persistently took him to a specialized store. John grumbled but agreed to try on a few pairs, and suddenly, he felt the difference. The new pair supported his foot in a way he had forgotten was possible. It wasn't like in clogs, but as if his feet were being hugged by caring hands. He bought both new slippers and outdoor shoes. A couple of weeks later, he noticed with surprise that the foot pain had almost disappeared. His knees bothered him less, and even his posture seemed straighter. He realized his old shoes were like trying to build a house on sand, no support, and the new ones were a solid foundation for his entire body. Physiologically, walking biomechanics improved, the load on the joints decreased. Psychologically, confidence returned when walking, some chronic pain disappeared, which couldn't help but lift his mood. Look at the shoes you wear at home and outside. Do they support you, or have they long since turned into shapeless rags? Don't cling to the old out of a false sense of comfort. Throw out without regret what harms your feet and joints. Your feet carry you through life. Give them decent support. Take care of your foundation. 3. The medicine cabinet of the past. An audit of your medications. The third important point is your medicine cabinet. Take a look in there right now. What do you see? Neat rows of necessary medications? Or chaos of old boxes, bottles with expired dates, pills prescribed for a long-gone illness? An overflowing, disorganized medicine cabinet is very dangerous, especially at our age. Firstly, there's a high risk of accidentally taking expired medicine, which might be ineffective or even harmful. Secondly, with an abundance of medications, it's easy to mix up pills, especially if vision isn't what it used to be or if there are memory issues. Thirdly, keeping unnecessary drugs just in case creates an illusion of preparedness, but in reality, it's just clutter and risk. Let me tell you the story of Margaret, an 80-year-old lady, very kind and intelligent. She lived alone and always tried to be very organized, but her medicine cabinet, it was a real warehouse. There were medicines left over from her husband's treatment, who had died 5 years earlier. There were blood pressure pills that had been replaced with others a year ago. There were antibiotics she hadn't finished. She used to say, "What if they come in handy? Medicines are expensive these days." She felt a certain fear of illness, fear of being without the necessary medicine in a critical moment. This fear prevented her from parting with the unnecessary. Her son, Robert, always worried when he visited and saw this chaos. He was afraid his mother might confuse something, especially when she wasn't feeling well. One day, he decided to conduct an audit. They sat down together, and Margaret was surprised to find pills that had expired 3 years ago. They found 2 almost identical drugs with different names, prescribed by different doctors. She got scared herself, imagining she could have taken them simultaneously. It was a turning point. Together with her son, they ruthlessly threw out everything expired and unnecessary. The remaining medications were organized on shelves, labeled in large letters. Robert bought her a convenient weekly pill organizer. And Margaret felt not regret, but immense relief and clarity. She said, it was as if a fog had lifted. Her medicine cabinet stopped resembling a minefield or a confusing maze and became a clear map of her health. Physiologically, the risk of poisoning or incorrect medication intake decreased. Psychologically, anxiety disappeared, and a sense of control over her treatment emerged. My dears, find the time and tidy up your medicine cabinet. Throw out everything old, unnecessary, and expired. Consult your doctor or pharmacist about proper storage and disposal. Use pill organizers. Clarity in your medicine cabinet is key to your safety and peace of mind. Organize it for the sake of your health. If you haven't subscribed yet, be sure to subscribe and turn on the bell icon so you don't miss new videos. Your support helps us continue creating useful and inspiring content for you. And now, let's move on. Repetition of the subscribe prompt as in the original. If you haven't subscribed yet, be sure to subscribe and turn on the bell icon so you don't miss new videos. Your support helps us continue creating useful and inspiring content for you. And now, let's move on. 4. Cozy traps. Goodbye low and soft armchairs. The fourth thing you might want to get rid of is furniture that is too low and too soft, especially armchairs and sofas. Ah, how pleasant it used to be to sink into the soft cushions of a beloved armchair. But as we age, getting up from such furniture becomes increasingly difficult. Leg muscles aren't as strong. Joints may be stiff with arthritis. Every time you stand up, it becomes an effort, requiring you to push off with your hands, rock back and forth. This is not only uncomfortable, but can also lead to a fall or a strain. Moreover, the constant struggle with furniture undermines our self-confidence, makes us feel frail. I recall the story of Arthur. He was 75. He had an old, deep armchair with soft cushions, a family heirloom. He loved it, but for the last couple of years, getting out of it had become a real struggle. Sometimes he even had to call his wife, Emily, for help. He began to sit in that chair less often, preferring a firmer chair in the kitchen. He felt ashamed of his weakness, angry at himself and the chair. It was his favorite spot for reading the newspaper, but now it was associated with effort and humiliation. Emily saw his struggle and suggested buying a new, more comfortable chair. Arthur initially reacted defensively. What, am I completely old now? This one is fine for me. He clung to that chair as a symbol of his former strength and independence. Parting with it meant admitting that he had changed, but Emily was persistent. They went to a furniture store, and she persuaded him to try a chair that was easier to stand up from. Not too high, sufficiently firm, with sturdy armrests. Arthur sat down, and was surprised to find how easily he could stand up. No strain, no struggle. He felt more confident. They bought the chair. The old one, reluctantly, was taken to their country house, dacha. And what do you think? Arthur started enjoying sitting in the living room again, reading, watching TV. He told Emily, "You know, I feel younger because I don't have to struggle every time I want to stand up." The old chair was like an anchor pulling him down, and the new one was like a helping hand, gently lifting him. Physiologically, the load on his knees and back decreased. The risk of falling when standing up was reduced. Psychologically, his sense of dignity and comfort returned. The frustration disappeared. Think about your furniture. Hasn't your favorite armchair turned into a trap? Is it easy for you to stand up? Perhaps it's time to replace it with something more suitable for your current needs. Choose furniture with sufficient seat height, firm padding, and sturdy armrests. Your furniture should serve you, not create obstacles. Allow yourself comfort and ease of movement. 5. Kitchen heavyweights and unused gadgets, freeing up space and hands. And finally, the fifth point, an audit in the kitchen. Look at your shelves and work surfaces. Are there heavy cast iron pans that you hardly use anymore because they are difficult to lift? Or old pots with awkward handles? Maybe your countertops are cluttered with mixers, blenders, toasters that you only use once a year? With age, grip strength may decrease, and arthritis may develop in the hands and wrists. Lifting heavy cookware becomes not only difficult, but also dangerous. You could drop it, burn yourself. And cluttered work surfaces get in the way, create disorder, and increase the risk of accidentally bumping or knocking something over. Betty, 77, had always loved cooking. Her signature dish was beef stew in a large cast-iron Dutch oven. But in recent years, arthritis in her hands made lifting this Dutch oven torture. She started cooking her favorite dish less often, which upset her. "My hands aren't what they used to be," she sighed. Her kitchen was full of various appliances, gifts from children, grandchildren, but most of them sat unused, taking up space. Betty felt guilty for not using the gifts, but she didn't dare to put them away. It seemed disrespectful to her loved ones. She was used to this mild chaos, but subconsciously it tired her out. One day, her granddaughter Chloe, visiting, noticed how her grandmother struggled with a heavy pan. She offered to help tidy up. Together, they went through all the cookware. The heavy cast iron items Betty rarely used were set aside to be given away. Chloe bought her several lightweight modern pots and pans with comfortable handles. They cleared the countertops, putting rarely used appliances away in a cupboard. The most necessary items, a knife, cutting board, a couple of light pots, were placed for easy access. Betty initially resisted. Why spend the money? I'm used to it. But when she tried cooking with the new lightweight cookware on a clear countertop, she was thrilled. Cooking once again brought her joy, not pain and fatigue. The kitchen seemed more spacious and convenient. She realized her old kitchen had been like an obstacle course, and now it was a convenient and safe workspace. Physiologically, the load on her hand joints decreased, the risk of injury was reduced. Psychologically, the joy in her favorite activity returned. The feeling of guilt and clutter disappeared. Look at your kitchen with fresh eyes. What is hindering you? What complicates the cooking process? Don't be afraid to part with heavy, awkward cookware. Give away or sell unnecessary appliances. Clear your work surfaces. Let your kitchen be a place of creativity and pleasure, not a struggle with objects. Make your kitchen your assistant. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell icon so you don't miss the videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now, let's move forward. So, there you have it. 5 simple but very important steps towards a safer and more comfortable life in your own home. See? It's not about depriving you of cherished memories or familiar coziness. It's about adapting your space to the person you are today, wise, experienced, but requiring a bit more care and attention to your body. You have lived a long, full life. You have earned the right to comfort, safety, and independence at any age. Don't be afraid of change. Don't cling to things that can harm you. Remember, by getting rid of the old and unnecessary, you make room for the new, for ease, for confidence, for the joy of each day. Your well-being is in your hands. Start small. Take at least one step we talked about today. You can do it. Your home should be your safe harbor, your place of strength, and you possess all the necessary wisdom and strength to make it exactly that. Take care of yourselves.